Maverick's pav. I wasn't expecting her to come through. If she hadn't brought her out after the 3 days mark we agreed, I had planned to storm in and take her myself. Now that I graciously knew where she was hiding. Whoever was hiding her did not account for internal betrayal. Amateur. So, imagine my surprise when she dragged a very unconscious Aries to me. Now, I have this little butterfly in my possession. After running away for so long, she's back in my hands. Pack up faster. They know where we are. I'm sure someone would be coming for her. I yell across the field at them. It's only been a few hours since I've had her. I have to keep pumping her full of wolfsbane to keep her sedated. The seer is finally being useful. She made something that can break off her connection to her mate, whosoever the dick was. Wait, you have to take me with you, a loud voice yelled. She's back. I thought you said you didn't care what happened to her as long as you were not here? I turned in her direction. Well, I changed my mind. Jason's coming for me. If he isn't already. So you're gonna help me? Her lack of awareness about her surroundings was funny. She knows I could kill her before she blinks. You are no longer of use to me. Why should I help you? I asked curiously. Hey, be gentle with that. I yelled at one of the guys. Because I helped you, she said. She actually believed that. I snorted out a little laugh. She was funny. Deaton, get rid of her, wait. She screamed in terror. I don't know why, but I really enjoy seeing fear in others. I'm listening. I leaned against a box of crates. I can tell you what I know about Eris. I know what she can do. I can help you, she said shakily. Deaton hasn't stopped taking a step closer since I told him to. That's why we get along so well. I trust him to do my dirty jobs. All right, let her go. She's coming with us, I sighed. Is everyone done? I asked the pack. They all nodded in reply. Move out. I placed the seer and Aries in the same vehicle as me and her sister, who has been pretending to not see Aries since she got here. I guess blood is not so thicker than water. We drive for the next 2 hours back to the pack. I'm sure James will be happy to see us. Stop, the guys at the border said as our car pulled up. I put my head out the window. Is this how you welcome your alpha? He bowed in greeting and apology. Let them through, he yelled and moved out of the way. Pack members watch us as our trucks pull up one after the other. Their curiosity is barely hiding under the surface. Take her to the basement, I pointed at the seer, and her to the dungeons, I pointed at Aries. Get her comfortable with chains and keep our guest here constantly watched. I said I need to catch up with James. I'm barely done with my words when an angry James Walsh my way. You brought her here? What is wrong with you, Maverick? Nothing is wrong with me. I am not doing this for myself. I'm doing it for all of us, I said calmly. She has done nothing to you, yet you can't let her leave, he said. What can I say? I am clingy, I smiled. But next time you question me openly, it will be the last time you remain beta, I whispered in his ears. Good to see you, man, I patted his shoulders. Hey, Madison. It's Allison, she corrected. I don't care. You said you had something to tell me. Well, now's the best time. Come with me. She walked briskly, trailing after me as I led her to my office. So, I'm listening. She made a move to sit across me. I never said you could sit, I warned her gently, and she froze midway. Just kidding. Sit, please. She released a shaky breath before she starts. I overheard her, Jason and Josh. They said she was royal. I got that much from the seer, I shrugged. Did she also tell you what kind of powers she has? I said nothing, and just kept looking at her. She can tap into any mind link she wants, even if she doesn't belong to the pack, she said. And? I asked. She has another power, but I haven't seen her use it before, she stuttered. So I brought all the way, so you can tell me something I had an idea about. I know she has powers. I'm taking them for myself. That's why I've been searching for her. I leaned closer to her and she flinched. Did you notice she's no longer wearing the tacky bracelet she used to wear? She asked. What about it? I was bored with this back and forth. She's trying so hard to remain relevant to me. I think it's related, she answered, like it was some kind of revelation. That's it. I'm done with this tedious conversation. I stood up. I won't kill you yet. You might still be of use to me, I said to appease her fast-beating heart. I could use her to get to her pack. Surely she knows how they think, who their strategist was, their individual strength and whatnot. Deaton, I called through the link. She's scared of him. I can use him to keep her in check. Show Allison to a room in the basement too. She's free to move about, but make sure someone's always watching her. Yes, Alpha, he replied. Few minutes later, they are both gone. Now I have to wake up my little butterfly. This should be fun. I walked down to the dungeons, whistling a tune. The wolfsbane should be leaving her system now. It's been almost 4 hours. Is she awake yet? I asked the guard stationed at her door. Negative. She hasn't made a sound. I just have to wake her myself. Get me a bucket of water. I kept whistling till he returned. Just the right temperature, I smiled. Open it. She looked so peaceful with her eyes closed. Beautiful, even. I've never seen this look on her. She was different and weird when she was here. I savored this look for a while, before drenching her with the ice-cold water. She woke up with a gasp, greedily drawing air into her lungs, barely registering my presence. I have to change that. Hello again, Aries. I smiled at her. Her head whipped so fast in my direction, and her eyes widened in recognition. Welcome back home. Sorry, we couldn't throw you a party. Arispov. The cold air makes me shiver. I wasn't in my clothes and I was wet, and a maniac was standing in front of me. Allison! I remember what happened. She knocked me out and gave me this twat. What? Are you too big to say hi now? He asked sarcastically. I try pulling at the chain so I can wrap my hands around his neck and squeeze the life out of him. Don't waste your time. I had these modified for you. He winked, especially after your growth. Tell me, what exactly can you do now? Release me and I can show you. You know, it's very unladylike to threaten someone. Didn't your parents ever teach you that? He then answered himself, Oh, that's right. You don't have one. Your parents are dead and the other don't really care, he tuts. What do you want? I finally asked. Your powers. See, if you had told me about them before, I wouldn't have rejected you and ended up killing people searching for you. He sighed, all those deaths are your fault. Well, I can't share what I don't have anymore. I know you're lying. I know you still have them. He moved a tad bit closer. If I have to kill your new mate to get them back? I will. You know why? It should have been mine in the first place. You wouldn't last against Jason. You'd be surprised. I'm terrifyingly good at beating the odds, he smiled. Get comfortable. You'll be here a while, he said before leaving. I look around me for anything that can help me break out of this joint. The room was bare except for the little window for ventilation and the iron bars that led outside. It was empty. The sound of scraping fills my ears. I turn in that direction. I finally noticed another heartbeat besides my own, and the guards outside my cell. The heavy breathing of the person fills my ears. Who is there? I whisper. Luna? A male voice asks. Who? It's me, Mason. He was part of the scouts. I thought Maverick killed him. You're alive. We weren't sure, I exclaimed happily. How did you get here? I sent Justin a sign to run. I wasn't sure he got it, he explained. Justin's fine. He's back at the pack. Allison's the reason I'm here, I tell him. Quit your chit-chat. This isn't a cafe, the guard interrupted whatever he was going to say. What happened? Mason asked. Hey, I said quit your chit-chat, the guard yelled, hitting the iron bar. We remained quiet for the next few hours. The sky had darkened at this point. The moon was already peeking through. The guard had changed shifts. The new one had barely stayed an hour before I had a visitor. A visitor that wasn't Maverick. I need to prepare her. Do you want to tell Maverick yourself that you're delaying my work? A female voice asked. The guard shook his head fearfully and opened the doors for her. Hi. I'm sure you don't know me, she started. And I don't want to, I said, interrupting her monologue. But I know who you are, she continued, ignoring my protest. My name's Carla. Let me tell you a little story. I roll my eyes as she starts. There was obviously no point saying no. My parents were very important people to your parents. My mother was a seer and a witch, while my father... Well, he crafted your bracelet. That finally gets my attention. My mother saw your future and warned your parents. Then your father, the king, asked my father to make a bracelet for you? Something unique. He asked my father to make 2 of them. Yours to suppress your power, while the other to leave memories or messages. She had no idea the second one was given to Josh. He brought the design himself. He said something about the moon goddess showing it to him. My father modified it a little and did it for him. This was a few months to your birth. She looked at me in disgust. My father said it was his best work. He was proud of it. Then your father asked him to destroy the blueprints and never speak a word about it to anyone. She laughed. He did it. He destroyed the actual blueprint because your father asked. How is any of these related to me? I wasn't even born then, I said. That's the thing. It has everything to do with you, she replied. After you were born, rumors had already spread about what my mother saw. How do you know it's not your mom or your dad that shared it? I doubt my parents would have gone blabbing about something that could harm their child. You don't get to accuse my parents, she said through clenched teeth. And you get to accuse mine? I asked back with the same venom. She paused before she continued with her story. First, my mom dies mysteriously while picking herbs. She entered a garden she had entered multiple times and came out of safely. She suddenly went in one day and came back dead. They said it must have been a poisonous plant, she said. Then the attack came next. My father thought to write everything down in a scroll and put it in a bottle where he hid me in the shed. She closed her eyes in memory. He told me to only come out when the chaos ended. He said if he didn't find me, I should go the path he and my mom took me to. That I'd find a town there. She opened her forearm and showed a carving. Fiona nice tats, I said. He said I should ask for her, that she'd know what to do, her voice bitter. I watched my father die. They questioned him about what he made for your father, her eyes filled with tears again. He refused to say anything, and they slit his throat. She choked on a sob. They burnt down the house. I came out only when everything was quiet, just like he said. Then a 5-year-old journeyed alone to another town with only a bottle in hand, and an injury that was carved by my own father. I felt sympathy for her, but it wasn't my fault or my parents' fault hers died. If anything, we both lost that day. She had a relative to fall back to. I had none. Then I started having these visions of you and what you can do. The visions led here to this pack, but then you had already left. So I told Maverick what you can do to motivate him to look for you. She smiled. You are helping Maverick? I asked in horror. Not really. I was just using him. When the moon rises in a week, he thinks I'm going to transfer your powers to him. But I have something else in mind. She smiled and moved a step closer. First, I'm going to strip you of your powers. Then I'll strip you of your wolf before I kill you myself. I've been mulling over telling the main psychopath that his partner was another contender at my throat, or waiting to see who'll rip who out first before I have my chance with the last man standing. After she graciously shared her plans with me, she forced something into my mouth and made me swallow it. She said it won't kill me. It was to help survive Maverick's incoming wrath. I lost consciousness after that. I have no idea what day it is. My sense of time has already been misplaced since Allison knocked me out. I'm not sure if it's been 2 days or more. After last night, I've been getting injected with wolfsbane every 4 hours. I was weak, both mentally and physically. No matter how hard I try to contact Jason, I just can't seem to reach him. It's like there's a fog between our connections. I also can't reach Athena. I can feel at the back of my mind, but she felt so out of reach. I don't even remember the last time I ate. Coupled with the wolfsbane, I doubt my body can take any more. My sanity was gradually slipping away. Hello, Luna. I recognized that voice and the nauseating perfume that came along with it. How'd you even get past the guard? I asked, weakly. I did him a little favor, so he'd let me have some alone time with you. Us girls need to catch up. She was too upbeat. What do you want? I seem to be asking that question a lot lately. Haven't you done enough? Simple. I want you gone. You're the reason I'm this way. I was perfectly fine with Jason before you came along. Then you stole him, she said accusingly. He is my mate. You psycho, I will not entertain her fantasies and delusions. That was why I helped Maverick. All I had to do was come back with convincing injuries and all suspicious left me. She said getting my story straight was also important. I had no idea Justin escaped. He almost ruined my plans. Good to know you are an upcoming mastermind. You were different. You didn't buy my act one bit. I could feel you prodding around my head sometimes, but after a few minutes, you usually give up. She said if you had checked after the doctor sedated me, maybe you would have stood a chance. She was right. Why didn't I think of that? I just assumed her walls were always up. Tell me what else you can do. I need something as leverage against that psychopath, she said. You made a deal with him the first time without my help. I'm sure you can figure something out yourself. You are gonna break eventually, and I'll be here when you do, she said, and started walking out. Until then, I'm going to enjoy your screams. I heard your welcome party officially starts today. She winked as she got to the door. Jason is gonna come for your head, I whispered. I'll die with your screams as a lullaby, she replied. Maverick's coming for his pound of flesh. I doubt I'll be able to withstand much. I was severely hydrated and weak. Any additional stimuli and I could slip into a coma. Mason, I called out. Luna, he answered weakly. He was also being starved. Can you tell me anything about their plans you heard? I asked. I haven't had the chance to ask him. I don't remember much. My memory is foggy, he said weakly. Anything would do if I got the chance to speak with Jason. I need to let him in on as much as possible. My fate might be sealed, but I know Jason won't stop coming for me. I heard one of the guards saying something about a ritual. He said, Maverick will drink your blood after the seer performs the ritual on a full moon. The full moon is less than 6 days away. I had 6 days to endure Maverick's torture. Send a message to Jason. Anything else? I asked. That was all. I don't know if it's helpful, he said. It is. Thanks, Mason. We remained quiet after that. I fight to remain conscious. I wanted to be awake when Maverick came. He doesn't disappoint. He came whistling a happy tune. Ah, you're awake, he said. I figured you'd come down here eventually. You've been expecting me? I'm flattered, he offered me a tooth smile. Don't get used to it. I wanted to test these on you if you weren't awake, but don't worry. It works just as well on woke people, he said, before charging the electric wires together. The sparks from it illuminate the room. The body is made of 60% water. Now imagine I do this. He dumped a bucket of water on me and added electricity. What would it look like? She said before shocking me. Tell me what I want to know, and I might stop this, he asked. Maybe I'm not the one you need to question, I said, catching my breath. There's a wolf pretending to be a sheep in your camp. Don't you want to find out who? I taunt. I'm not worried about that. You are my main concern. He shrugged. I'm flattered, I replied. Tell me what I want to know and we can end this, he asked again. I have nothing to say to you then, and I certainly have nothing to say to you now, I said. Are you sure about that? He asked. I personally think you can be persuaded. And I personally don't give a shit what you think I spat. Teask, tesk, tesk. Such an uncouth mouth for a princess, don't you think? He asked. Carla must have told him everything. Everything except the part where she kills me, I presume. He shocks me again and kept repeating the action for a while. Each time he stopped, he'd ask about my powers, and I either said nothing or got on his nerves. While I can do this all day, I think you need a little motivation. It's boring repeating the same actions and expecting a different result. He sighed. How do you feel about your adoptive parents? Are you still bitter that they couldn't fight for you, or have you forgiven them? He asked. Don't you touch them, I said through clenched teeth. I could still feel the electric current running through me. He smiled. You still have some unresolved feelings. Let me help you. Jason's Pav. She's gone, I sighed. She's been gone for 4 days now. I don't know how she is or what he's doing to her. I felt helpless in this situation. This is the longest I've been without breathing her in, or smiling at her, or just talking to her. The full moon was 3 days away. We planned to take Adriana out, then go for a run together, but that can't happen now anymore. We'll find her, Luke said, trying to reassure me, but it just wasn't working. We haven't found anything, I yelled at him. We already checked the last place he was seen, and tracked him everywhere he went, and he was not there. He knew we were gonna come for her, and the bastard made sure to clear his tracks. If it wasn't for Justin and Josh, we might have not even found anything. Let Cole do his thing. Trust him to do this right. He knows what's at stake, Luke said slowly. I don't know what to think anymore. I've exhausted almost all my choices, and it's making me frustrated. I've been patient enough, and it sucks waiting. I sighed one more day without her, and I might just break. I can't sleep. I barely eat. I was basically running on fumes. I eat just enough and sleep just enough to not look like a zombie and scare my daughter. Everywhere I turn, I see shadows of her when she was there. Each time I close my eyes, I'm haunted by our memories, and when I open my eyes and realize she's still gone, I break a little more. Even Adriana has noticed Aries' absence. I was running out of excuses to give her each time she asked. I'm barely keeping her from crying. She's grown attached to her. My thoughts get interrupted by the door opening. We all turned our heads to the door. All our prayers were the same. We hoped it was Cole and he came along with good news. Alpha Cole said as he came into view. I stood up too fast. You'd have thought they set fire to my ass. Please tell me you have something, I asked desperately. I have something, he replied. What do you have? Luke questioned this time. Hold on. I need to get Josh. He's Eris, Beta, and Guardian. He blames himself as much as I do. Maybe even more. Josh, I called. Alpha, I could hear the exhaustion in his tone even if I couldn't see his face. He has searched every nook and cranny for Aries. He turned Allison's room upside down to look for clues. Come to my office. You can come along with Carlton if you find him. Cole might have something for us, I informed him. I turned to face Luke and Cole. Just a few minutes. They are on the way, they both nodded in reply. I was desperate to know where she was, but I didn't want to explain myself again to Josh. when we could be spending that time coming up with a plan. Josh barges in with heavy breathing a few moments later. He obviously ran here. I could see the flicker of hope in his eyes again. He knew what this could mean. "Carlton?" I asked. "I couldn't find him," he said, drawing large breaths. "Okay," I nodded in response. "Cole, please," I urged him to start. "He is from the Moonstone Pack. That's where he took her," he said in an official voice, like he was talking to a client back at the office. "I got someone to infiltrate and get back to me. And this was the most important part. He reported back to me today, and I made my way back here immediately. He pointed out the pack has only 3 entry points, with 5 guards stationed at each one," he continued. "I might have said not to involve casualties, but there's no telling who went with Maverick when he was planning to kidnap my mate, and who didn't. It wasn't exactly written on their faces. He has many warriors." He looked us all in the eyes as he said so, and by many, I meant he recruited some guys from the pack he massacred. Anyone who wanted to join him had to pledge their loyalty. "Right now has over 40 guys fighting for him," he said. "We only had about 30 warriors here. If we wanted to stand any chance of surviving, we'd need the help of Killian and Kane." I wasn't above groveling at this point if it would get my mate back. There's no telling if this data is accurate, so we have to think ahead. "Any idea where he's keeping her?" I asked. "I'm not sure I should tell you that," he protested gently. "Look at me, Cole." "I can take it," I said. "He locked her up in the dungeons, and let's just say her screams haven't been the ones of pleasure," he said gently. He was trying to soften the blow. I failed my mate. I failed to protect her, and now that murderous maniac has her in his hands. I closed my eyes and let the rage sink in before I do something drastic or stupid. "We have another problem," he said, interrupting the calm I was trying to maintain. "I thought having Ares in the dungeon was our biggest problem. Or was it Maverick having more guys to fight on his side than I'd like? But no, I haven't gone through enough." I showed him a picture of Allison to confirm if she'd left to become a rogue or join his pack, and "I'm sure you can guess his answer," he said. "I would have asked you to tell me it's the latter, but knowing Allison, it's probably the former," I said in silent rage. "She has gone too far, and I wasn't going to let her have her way." "You're right. She's with Maverick at Moonstone Pack, and since we all know her well, she'd probably say he forced her to come with him. But my sources have confirmed she's living well, though under constant security and monitoring, but it's well compared to Ares, which means she's helping him." Cole warned. "I trust his information. I'm even surprised he managed to get someone inside. He wouldn't have let her stay just because she helped him get Ares," Josh muttered in thought. That means he looked up with wide eyes. "Yes. She's feeding him information on how you run things, how you think, your fighting style and whatnot. That's the only thing keeping her relevant at his side." Cole confirmed all our thoughts. "I'm gonna kill her if I get my hands on her. I will squeeze her neck and watch as life leaves her eyes slowly, and I promise to enjoy every second of it. So we have to change everything to beat the game she's playing with him," I said seriously. "My anger could come later, and to do that, we need Killian and Kane's help." I lock eyes with everyone. "We need to come up with something new that she doesn't know, and I think I have an idea. Luke, send a message to Killian and Kane. Have them meet me here." I said, "Tell them we have something." "Josh." I turned to him. "Find Carlton and him, give me the number of how many men we can spare," I instructed. "Cole, I'll need you to hand over some of your work duties to someone else. I said I'll have Luke stay behind while you come with me." "No, man. I'm not letting you walk into a possible trap alone," Luke protested immediately. "It's not a trap if we already plan for it," I retorted. "But we can discuss that later. Let's get to it." I nodded at everyone. "Thanks, Cole." He single-handedly fueled the hope that was burning out already. I was getting desperate, and it wouldn't be long until I did something desperate. I couldn't lose her too. They all left and got to work on what I asked, while I came up with possible strategies. I had to open my dad's old mini conference room he had built in so he could talk to all the important persons around the pack. It's been a while since I came in here, but this was not the time to be visiting old memories. I have to find her first. We've got credible intel about Maverick. As you all know, a pack member of mine betrayed us and gave my mate to him. My voice was laced with authority as I spoke. Every hint of desperation I had before was hidden. I can't afford to show my weakness to these sharks. Yes, I heard. What do you want us to do to help? Killian asked fiercely. He wasn't one to joke. Since he spoke to Josh alone, he's been more open to me. It's not about what he wants us to do. It's about what we should have done before he left. Kane said he got the best of us. You especially, he nodded my way. If he was mocking me, he did best not to let it show. Maverick's from Moonstone Pack, and he has more people on his side than I'd like to admit, I said. Ignoring the jab Kane threw my way, the only way we can beat him now is together. I'll need your help if I want to stand a chance. I'm listening. How do we kill someone who has someone helping him on the side? Killian asked with clenched jaws. He hates being at a disadvantage. The only reason he attended this meeting was because of the treaty we signed and Josh. We need to approach this with caution. He has my mate, and I won't do anything to jeopardize her safety. Underlying warning in my words, the Moonstone Pack is located around the mountainside. It is heavily guarded. They have 3 entry points with 5 guards on each one. If they see us from a mile away, it wouldn't work. Then we strike when they least expect it, he suggested. That's the plan. A coordinated attack at night would be better. We could incapacitate their defenses. I'll retrieve Ares and make sure any innocent doesn't get into the crosshair, I said. How many men does he have? Kane asked. About 40, give or take, I replied. Are you sure of these numbers? Killian asked. It could be more. It could be lesser, but our sources confirmed it to be 40, I answered. How many of your men can you spare? I can spare 25, including me. The rest are to volunteer if they wish to go, I answered. We need an advantage in numbers, Killian muttered. I nodded in appreciation. Sparing 15 guys in a pack was a massive sacrifice, and he was taking it to help me. I'm sorry, Jason. I can only spare 10 of my guys, Kane said apologetically. He's already killed some. I can't afford to send more for the slaughter. I understood his fears. Might have done the same if I were in his shoes. I can't promise there'll be no casualties, but I can promise it will be minimal. I looked them both in the eye. Killian nodded in acknowledgement, while Kane grunted. When do you plan to attack? In 24 hours. I answered. Please send your guys my way so we can leave early as planned. Shortly after, they left. Can everyone please gather at the hall? I said into the pack link as I made my way there myself. I got there first and watched as they came in 2s and 3s. I waited for everyone to settle before I climbed up to the mini-stage. It must have come to your attention that my mate, your Luna, was taken, and she was taken by one of our own and handed over to Maverick. Some nodded, others whispered, but Allison's group of friends looked ashamed at the mention of what she did. They are innocent. I'd know. We searched everywhere when she left, including their place. Cole has gathered enough information to get her back. Carlton and some of the pack warriors will be going with me, but Luke and the rest will remain to protect the rest that are behind. My voice echoed off their ears as I spoke. While I won't force anyone to leave with me, I'd still like some volunteers. There's safety in numbers. There's also death in numbers, the guy at the front murmured. I sent him a look that sends shivers down his spine. I watched as he stiffened before bowing in submission and apology. I'd like to go, a feminine voice rang out. So would I, 3 others echoed. By the end, I had 10 volunteers, including Isabel. I nodded at each hand that raised. By tomorrow morning, We'll be having some other warriors sent over by Alpha Killian and Alpha Kane's packs. Do well to welcome them, heads bob as they nod in confirmation. That will be all. Luke walks up to me after they dispersed. His anger was on display for me to see. What do you mean by I'll be staying behind? I need someone I can trust to stay behind and take care of everyone else. I explained calmly. I'm entrusting my daughter's safety in your hands while I'm away. When you put it like that, how can I say no? Besides, you just got your mate. You should spend more time with her. I know you can't babysit, but Madison can. I shrugged. I doubt Cole is going to be very forgiving if his sister cries because you came back with injuries after leaving with me. They always fight each time they meet. I doubt he'd fight me for her. You'd be surprised. Cole, Josh, Carlton and I gathered in my office for the final preparations before the others get here tomorrow. The strongest entrance will be the one within the mountains, and it could also be the easiest. Cole began, pointing out the drawn map his insider got his hands on. It is heavily defended, but the guards could get lax. They don't believe someone could come from there, Josh pointed out. We'll exploit that weakness, Carlton declared. He was confident he could do it. We'll just need to coordinate with some Jade Wolfpack guys to pull it off. Okay. I agreed with him, Josh. You'll lead your group from the second entry. Find the person helping him and get rid of her. I pointed it on the map. And Cole, you're with me. We are using the first entry point, I said. He nodded without protest. Cole might be spending more time at the office, but he always kept up with his training. His strength was almost, if not equal, to that of Carlton. Once you're in, I'll need you to find Ares immediately, I instructed. I'll keep Maverick away while you do. That is said to him. Whichever one of us finds Allison first, she's to be killed on sight. Whatever she says to convince you she's innocent, ignore it, I said menacingly. They all nodded. Now, all we have to do is use the night to our advantage. I'm sure you have all been briefed on what we are about to do by your respective alphas, I said to the crowd. The guys Killian and Kane promised arrived almost at the same time this morning. They've settled and everyone was packing their gear and weapons they might use. Most were empty-handed. They preferred shifting to fight. There are ballots in front of you. Pick out a color, I said. This was the best way to get them into groups. They all got to it. Carlton was the red team. I was blue and Josh was the green team. Everyone that picked their colors went to stand at the right side. Each group has a different entry point. Your group leader will brief you on what you're doing, I said. My voice resonates with them. Look at everyone besides you, I said. They turned to each other, studying their teammates. Those faces are going to be your companions and partners for the next few hours. Look out for each other. I want to minimize casualty as much as possible. Why do we have to listen to the group leader? For all we know, we could be stronger than them, someone from the other pack voiced. Because they know why they are doing it. Being stronger doesn't necessarily mean being smarter. I pointed out he has faced things that made him the perfect choice for this. Some of them nodded and backed down. I could say we should duel it out, but I know I'll beat you in seconds, and we might end up being a man down, Josh said. Stepping up, Carlton followed right after. What about him? Someone asked, pointing at Cole. Oh, wrong choice, mate, Carlton said. The only thing Carlton did was look up at the person, and everyone immediately backed down. The aura he has grown from being authoritative at the office has stuck with him. He's different now. Are we good? I asked the crowd. They grunt in reply, finally backing at the display of authority Josh and the rest just showed. We leave in 2 hours. Say your prayer or whatever you need to do now before we get on the road, I said to the crowd before leaving. One more stop before I do this. Adriana, I yell as I entered the pack house. Audrey, I turn to find her in the common room, sitting quietly with Madison. She's been quiet since yesterday. She hasn't asked where Ares was, Seeing her like this broke my heart. "Bean," I whispered gently. "Daddy," she answered. "Come here." I opened my arms wide and watched her walk into it. Her little arms wrapped themselves tightly around my neck. I tightened my arms around her a little more before letting her go. "Baby, Daddy has to go bring Aries back." I choked a little as I swallowed the lump in my throat. "Do you want to see Aries?" I asked. "Yeah," she answered sadly. "Well, I'm going to get her," I said, stroking her head gently. "While I'm gone, I need you to be a good girl and not give Luke and Madison trouble, okay?" I asked. Her head bobbed up and down as her eyes fill with tears. "Shh, don't cry," I whispered, and the dam breaks as she bawls. "I'll be back before you know it. I promise." "Okay?" She nodded. "You gotta stop crying, okay?" "Okay," she answered, trying so hard to keep the tears at bay. "I love you, Bean," I said emotionally. "I love you too, Daddy," she yawned. The stress of crying finally got to her. She felt lethargic. "Madison," I gestured for her to carry Adriana. "Please take care of her. She's usually adamant about not taking her bath. But if you mix the water to be lukewarm, she'd get in herself. She likes bubbles and will probably get them on you. She prefers pancakes in the morning to eggs and bacon. She always sleeps with Mr. Bear, but goes into my room if she wakes up at night. I've arranged her favorite onesies in one pile for you," I said, listing off things about my daughter. What else am I missing?" I muttered. "She doesn't really like to eat in the afternoon, but she'd eat anything as long as you promise her little ice cream. She rarely takes afternoon naps unless you read her a story," I said in one breath. "Do you feel better?" she asked in concern. "A little," I answered. "Well, don't worry and just bring Aries back safely. Adriana is in good hands," she offered me a little smile. I kissed my daughter's head again before leaving the room. I make some final arrangements with Luke before my alarm rings. "Be safe out there, man, and bring her back," he muttered into my shoulders as he pulled me in for a bro hug. "I will," I affirmed. I walked out to the pack boarders to find them all gathered. Their eyes indicated their readiness at what they had to do and the roles they had to play. All right, I walked back to the front. "You all know what to do and where you belong, so let's move out." "Eris Pav, I've told you." "I don't know," I said tiredly. We officially graduated from electric shock to wolfsbane injection for every answer. I was weaker than I was when I came, but I managed to convince him not to bring my parents. It's 3 days until the full moon, 2 days and some hours if we are really counting. 2.5 days to my death if I don't do something about it. The thought of Jason and little Adriana is the only thing giving me strength each time I feel like giving up. And I've told you, you can end this. "I'm not a monster," Aris Maverick said. "If you cooperate with me, all of this will end." "Too bad I'm not a willing participant," I retorted. "I've been lenient enough not to actually hit you." "Don't you want to know why?" He tilted his head in question. "Not really, but I'm sure you'd enlighten me." "You know that phrase?" "Careful with the merchandise," he asked. "I don't want to end up killing you by mistake before I get what I want." He moved closer and grabbed my jaw. "That's the only thing keeping you alive. But don't think for 1 second that I can't change my mind. I know you won't kill me, but I can't say the same for your friend." I grinned at him. "You think your little mate is gonna save you?" "Let him come. I've laid the perfect trap for him," he chuckled. "I'd like to see what he can do." He stared me dead in the eyes as he spoke. I glared at him so hard, I think I'll pierce his skull with my eyes. "I don't like that look in your eyes," he muttered, before knocking me out. As I fell unconscious, I found myself in an open field of grass. The land was vast and the trees were so green it screamed life. If this was my consciousness to escape from reality, then I'm very grateful. If this was death, Then I don't mind dying now. Hello, child, an ethereal voice called behind me, distracting me from soaking up in the sun. I turned to find Lila. Is she dead too? I must be really dead to see her. I offered her a little smile. Fancy meeting you here, Lila, I answered. Oh, child, I'm sorry I couldn't do more to help you, she said softly. She moved to hold my hands and stroked them lovingly. It wasn't your fault. I thought I hid your location well. I never thought Allison would hand you over to him, she lamented softly. What do you mean? Who are you exactly? I removed my hands from hers. Oh, she said, then changed right in front of me. She aged backwards. She doesn't stop until she's in her mid-20s. She looked absolutely stunning. Her beauty was out of this world. Better? She asked, but I was too stunned. I know it's impolite to stare, but I doubt she'd blame me. Lila? I whispered. I'm Celine. I had to use Lila to make you trust me. People tend to trust older people, she smiled softly. Her words registered in my head. Wait, I said, Celine. As in the moon goddess Selani? I asked in shock. That's just a formal title. You don't have to call me that, she replied. How is this even possible? I asked in wonder. She just smiled at me and said nothing. She made it possible. That was a stupid question to ask. What do you mean by you hid me? I asked, recalling what she said earlier. Let's take a walk. I'll explain everything she said and let us down a path. Don't you wonder why he couldn't find you after weeks of searching, even though he was so close to the pack? Do you think it's a coincidence that Haley happened to show up at the pack warning you? She said mysteriously. You sent her there? I had to warn you and Jason of what was coming, and I made Haley for Josh. That made her the perfect messenger, she said about that. I'm sorry I paired you up with an undeserving mate the first time. Her apology stuns me and brings tears to my eyes. She apologized, even though she didn't have to. Now I can't blame you anymore, I said, sniffing through my sour nose. You can still blame me, child, she said. I'm not going to fault you if you do. Okay, but I won't. I smiled a little at her. You know, I had so much joy creating Athena for you, she said in reverie. Her eyes looked far away. I added a little piece of me into her. She smiled, turning to me. No wonder Athena trusted her when she saw her. That also explains why Athena's fur changed after I got the first power. At the thought of my power, my mind went back to Jason. She was there way longer before I came. Why did you choose the Crescent Pack? I asked curiously. I used to come and go before, but his parents never questioned it. I liked his parents. They were one of the most beautiful pairs I made besides your parents. They must have been wonderful, I sighed in contentment. They were. Their deaths weren't supposed to happen. She explained I watched Jason lose himself for a while, before he picked up the pieces and started living for his daughter. Yeah, he told me what happened. Your loss made you both the perfect pair. She came to a stop and turned to face me. He had a lot of love in his heart to give, and you deserved that kind of love. Thank you, I whispered. Do you know what the vision about you was that led to all of this chaos? Not really. Well, it's partly my fault. She chuckled a little, adding a little of myself to Athena, and giving her to you automatically made you the strongest werewolf alive. If they had killed you when you were a baby, the piece of my soul I left in you would have been transferred, she explained. I was confused, but I didn't have Athena then. You already had her. She was just dormant. She said the vision spoke about the immense power you had in you, and how, if anyone could kill you, they could have the power for themselves. That was why I gave your parents the design for the bracelet. Clara was right. She really did give them. I wonder why, though. It was made to hide your powers for as long as possible, with the only condition that your mate could help you with them. she said, answering my unasked question. What about Josh's own? I had a feeling all might not go according to plan, so I had something similar made for Josh. If anyone could survive, it would be you two. She smiled, and I blessed him with enough strength to protect you as a favor from your parents and his. You mean my real parents? I asked tearfully. Yes. She led us to a small path, and a cottage came into view. There's someone here who'd like to meet you. They've been waiting a long time. The door opened and a man and a woman walked out. They were bickering, but I could see the love they had for each other. The man had dark brown hair that stopped at his shoulders and familiar blue eyes, while the lady had beautiful black hair that flowed down to her waist. They haven't noticed us yet, but I felt content just watching them. Celine had to clear her throat to get their attention. Celine, she stopped as she saw me. The man looked up too to see what got her attention. Bella, he whispered. I doubt she goes by that, the lady whispered right back. I recognized the voice. I know that bickering. Tears gathered in my eyes as I watched them. Mum, hi baby. She opened her arms and I ran into them. Her hands were the warmest I had ever been. She stroked my back and my hair and everywhere else she could touch before letting me go. Princess, my dad called, and I went into his arms. I felt so safe, like nothing could ever hurt me. Daddy, I mumbled, his chest, and he hugged me tighter before letting me go. How? I stuttered. How were they here? It's been a long time since they passed. Is this a heaven for werewolves? Is that why I'm here? They turned to Celine and smiled before looking back at me. We told her we wanted a chance to see you before we passed on and got reincarnated or whatever she does with our souls, Mom answered. You grew up so well, she said. There were times we could watch you to see how you were doing. We never meant to abandon you, Princess, Dad said. I know I sniffed back tears that were threatening to spill out of me. Come in. We have a lot of catching up to do, Mum ushered us inside. By the lack of the bracelet on your arms, you've obviously found your mate, she giggled, and Dad let out a low growl. Zell, Mum reprimanded him, and I snort in laughter. I didn't say anything. You didn't have to, she replied, giving him a look. Celine went about her thing like she was used to them bickering. You're encouraging the twerp. Eva, Dad said she wouldn't be here unless she figured it out. Or she was in danger. His intuition was on point. Which is it, Princess? He asked. The latter? I said meekly. Before you start to lay the blame, it wasn't her mate's fault. If anything, he protected her well, Celine said, before they could blame Jason. Then what happened? He asked. Where do I start? I asked the room after the powers found me. They showered me with as much love as they could offer. I met my first mate. Maverick and he rejected me that same day for Ashley, my sister. These are the kind of people you are to strip off their wolf or lead them to an accident that will cause their deaths, Dad said in a hard voice. I already promised not to do that to any of my children again, Celine answered. I'm not going to break my promise now, there's obviously a story behind that. But that will be a story for another day. Anyway, I interrupted. Then I was sent away. I'm sure you must have seen that, or Celine must have told you, Honey Mum said sadly. I didn't want her to be sad. I feel better now. It's okay. It all worked out, I assured her. It led me to him. I can't help the smile that blooms as I talk about Jason. He's kind and sweet and a really good alpha and you love him, she finished. I looked at her in question. It's written all over you. I do, I whispered. I'm really gonna miss him. I can't believe I'm doing the same thing his first mate did. I left him behind. You seem to keep thinking you're dead, Celine turned to me. She can read minds too. I created this place. I can hear the thoughts of everything in it, she answered, and no. You're not dead. I took you away temporarily so you could meet your parents. And I can warn you, she said ominously. What's wrong? Fiona is coming too. She plans to finish you up if her niece doesn't, Celine said. Who's Fiona? Dad asked, and who is her niece? You remember the man that made the bracelet for you? I asked. They nodded in reply. He had a daughter, and after her mother died, and her father was killed in front of her. She sort of swore to kill me. She blames me for their death. I explained. It wasn't your fault, Mum said. I know, but she doesn't seem to think so. And now her last living relative, her late mum's sister, is coming to help her. Well, Fiona dabbles in black magic, and I don't have much control over that. Celine said that is what her niece is using. Break the connection between you and Jason. Maverick doesn't want to believe he can be double-crossed. We can find a way to use that, I said. I'm sorry we can't do anything to help you. She gave me a sad smile. You helped plenty. I said your message helped, and Celine performed the rituals for us. I smiled. It all made sense now. The extra flair and the cauldron. Then she must have added something Mum said you might not know it now, but it's there. I turned to Celine with questions written all over my face. She offers a mysterious smile in return. Say your goodbyes. She needs to return now. It's too soon, Mum said. Can we get more time? Dad asked her. If you want her to stay permanently before her time, then yes, Celine answered. We don't want that, Dad replied. Come here, Princess. Dad hugged me to his chest and kissed my head. Be safe out there. Tell your mate I'm watching him, he whispered beside my ears before he let me go. Baby Mum pulled me to her. You were just a baby when I held you last. She sniffed. Be safe, okay? And live your life to the fullest before you think of joining us here. She finally let me go. We love you. Always, Dad said. He hugged Mum to his side. She was crying now, and that made me tear up. I love you guys too, I whispered through my tears. Celine walked me back to where she first brought me. You could have easily taken me back from there, I pointed out. Yes, but it would have been cruel for your parents. She said Jason is coming for you. He is already close, but you have to warn him. Maverick is already expecting him, and he has set traps. She said he should get there on the night of the full moon. I'll help you so you can warn him. How do I send the message? When I send you back now, I will halt the magic disrupting your connection for a few minutes. Use the time well. I woke up startled. I felt more rested than I did before. It must be Celine's gift to me. It was morning already, which means the dream lasted all through the night. Which also means I have less than a few hours if I don't break out of here. Jason! 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 I called into the bond. Aries, I've been trying to talk to you for so long I could feel all of his worries and angst. I'm coming to get you. Just hang on a little longer, okay? He asked. Jason, I whispered as tears gathered in my eyes. It felt like years since I've heard his voice. What I dreamt couldn't compare to the real thing. It's okay, baby. Save your strength. He said I'm coming to get you. It was a promise. One I knew he was going to keep, but I had to warn him first. No. Wait, I said quickly. He knows you're coming. You have to be careful, I warned. Even if he knows I'm coming, I'm still gonna beat him at his game, he replied. And the girl, she's not working alone, and neither is she working for Maverick. She has her own agenda, and I doubt her aunt is far behind, I said softly into the link. Okay, I love you. Just hang in there a little more, he said. I love you. Our connection was suddenly cut off. The reason for the disruption showed up. I'm just glad Celine was able to buy us enough time. What did you do? Clara asked as she came into view. You're the psychic. You tell me, I taunted. Whatever you do, it won't work, she said. I grinned at her, not saying a word. It's a good thing I didn't do anything, then I said provocatively. You are trying so hard to look like you don't care about losing your wolf or your life tomorrow, but I can see it deep down in your eyes. You are terrified she said you are good at hiding it, but I can't see it. I never knew I wore my emotions on sleeves, but thank you for pointing it out. I grinned. I'll be sure to rectify it. She ignored me. Enjoy your last days. She said it's merely a day, a few hours, to the full moon. You're gonna have to try a lot harder to scare me, I said, pulling the chains off the walls. She flinched, but quickly regained her composure. I'm watching you, she said before walking out. My peace and quiet doesn't last when I'm visited by my parents. I've been here for days and I'm certain they knew I was here, but were too scared to show up. Era's mum called. Hi, sweetheart, Dad said behind her. I don't speak. I don't react. I watch them as I would strangers. I might have forgiven, but I haven't forgotten and they haven't apologized. We wanted to say we are sorry for not standing by your side when you needed us the most. She barely gets the words out before her tears start streaming down her face. Has she always been this emotional? I was the one chained, but she is the one crying. When I was banished, she cried. I never got to ask her who those tears were for. Who were you crying for the day Alpha Matt sent me out of the pack? I asked quietly. What? She stared at me in confusion. It might be a little late asking, but I needed to know. That day. It's been bothering me, I said. I cried because I had to choose between my daughters, and that was the worst thing you could ever do to a parent, she answered. We actually fought for you, sweetheart, but we lost. Dad said we just couldn't tell you, he explained. And we are so sorry it looked like we chose Ashley over you, Mum said again. That was never our intention. We love you both equally, she finished. I kept mum. We don't support what your sister is doing with Maverick, but I hope you don't hold it against her, Dad said. I don't. I finally spoke. That was the best thing she ever did for me. I smiled. You can stop blaming yourselves. I forgive you. I smiled. I've learned a lot these last few months. That's wonderful. We are so very proud of you, she gushed. They both subtly asked questions for the next few minutes with the guise of catching up. I can't say I trusted them completely. We just wanted to say we are sorry, and Mum moved closer and whispered the last words we are looking for. A way to get you out of here. You don't have to put yourself in harm's way to help me. I softened my tone. Just take care of yourselves, okay? I don't blame you for what happened anymore. Thank you, sweetheart, Dad said. This was the most emotions he has shown to anyone, except Mum. We caught up a little. They asked about my bracelet, and I gave them an excuse. They left shortly after. I might have forgiven, but no one can say if Maverick sent them. I know he's not above that. I waited for the guard to fall asleep before I clued Mason in. Mason, my voice bounced off the walls to his before he responded. Luna, he responded. Do you think you can still hold on? I asked. As long as you are here, I will hold on, he replied. We have developed a sense of loyalty and camaraderie between ourselves. This might be the only chance we get to escape this hellhole. I can't tell him directly because I have no idea who might be listening in, but I can encourage him or something. Lunas are supposed to be a beacon of hope. I need to give him one and convince myself it will all go well. I want you to keep that spirit. Whatever we might face in these remaining hours, I want you to hold on. For as long as possible. I promise we'd get out of here. Maverick's Pov. All right, Butterfly, I smiled at Ares as Deaton undid her chains. Time to go. The moon was almost at its highest peak. The little seer said it's almost time. I know her silly mate is coming, and I plan to lead him on a little wild goose chase until I'm done with her. Where are you taking me? She asked in fake bravado. I like her confidence. She was afraid, but she refused to show anything other than that confidence to me. She has grown into herself. We could have gotten along in another life. Remember when I said you were gonna do something for me? I asked sarcastically. Well, now's the time. It's supposed to be a quid pro quo, but you kinda owe me. She shakes her head so fast in refusal. But it's not yet time, she said as calmly as she could manage. She's really trying to hide her panic, but I can practically smell it on her. Are you worried about your little mate coming to find you? She draws in a quick breath. It was silent, but I've been studying her the last few days, so I notice every little thing now. Funny how much detail I'm paying her now. Don't worry, he's coming. I said, take her there. I'll be coming to join you, I said to Deaton, who immediately dragged her away. Deaton and I, same wavelength. He gets me. I went back to pick something and dragged that half-baked idiot that surprisingly had a knack for survival. Allison. Time to put her to use. Hello, love. How do you feel about meeting your pack members? You must have missed your friends, right? It was a rhetorical question. She knew that, so did I. I need you to lead them away while I do what I want to do with Ares. You want her dead, right? Well, here's your chance to play your part. Why do I have to be the scapegoat? You know, as well as I do, that they'd kill me on sight. Good. I can't wait to be rid of her whiny voice. What should I do? I'm sure you'll think of something. Sure, I might be smiling at her, but she could feel the underlying threat in my voice. Why don't you be a good bunny and hop to it? I didn't wait for her response before I left. You don't have to do this, James said. His whiny voice was also getting on my nerves. Just let her go, man. The pack is becoming restless. Are you sure it's the pack and not you? I asked. And is this your way of saying you won't fight with me? You know that's not what I mean. Look, I'd fight with you, but I can't fight for the wrong reasons. He sighed. Her mate is coming for her. I am her mate, I shouted. Not him, me. And you are also the alpha. He got into my face, and lately, you haven't been acting like one. What's happening to you, man? Is there something you're trying to say? I took a menacing step closer. You have been acting strange since yesterday. You want to tell me why? Fuck. He sighed heavily. No, man. He raked his hand through his hair, breaking eye contact. Everyone is anxious, and I don't know what's wrong, okay? I got it, I said to ease his nerves. Just tell everyone that doesn't want to be involved in the crossfire to move to the safe house now. The rest can wait behind for instructions. Okay, he set out to leave. James, I called, halting his movements. I'd like to see you there too. I'd love it if you fight with me. He nodded. I can't let you get killed. I might not like what you're doing or understand it, but you're still my friend. He offered me a small smile before leaving. After setting things in order, I went back to the clearing. The seer and Ares were. Deaton wasn't far from them, but he wasn't too close either. Hey, seer, I shouted across the field, distracting her from whatever she was preparing. Can we do this now? I'd like to be at an advantage when that nitwit comes. It's almost ready, she replied. Good. Ares stood quietly, all chained up, and looked between the two of us. A few more minutes pass before she tells me she's ready. Let's begin, she said. Wait, I said. I never really asked. What's your name? She stopped, rolling her eyes at the last second before answering mechanically. Clara, she answered, since you finally asked, she said under her breath. Ares' laughter draws my attention to her. What's funny? I asked, irritated. You've been together for what? She asked. Months now, or was it weeks? And you still don't know her name. Don't you know it's basic etiquette to ask people for their names? What did you call her since? That's none of your business. She gets on my nerves easily. Funny. I barely saw her for 2 days, and I already knew her name. She snorted in laughter again. I hope you laughed enough, I said, after she managed to stop that night. Be your last laughter. Shall we begin? Clara asked. I nodded as politely as I could manage. Yes, please. She dragged Aries to the center of the weird diagram she drew on the ground with chalks. What are you doing? Aries asked. What I planned to do from the start, Claire answered before she said something in some strange tone. Aries immediately entered into a trance. So she's been holding back on me. Stretch your hand, she said. The moment I did, she sliced my palm and let my blood spill into the bowl she brought along with her. Then she sliced Aries' palm too, and the blood flowed into the bowl. She said a few more words in the strange language she said earlier. The wind picked up speed the more she spoke. Then she mixed the blood and rubbed it on my forehead. Okay? I looked at her confusedly. What's next? I asked. It will take time before it takes effect, she answered. I didn't know you were that powerful, I said. You never asked. Between trying to kill me and demand, it's hard to keep up. Well, I sighed, maybe next time. She shakes her head. You should go attend to our unexpected guest, she smiled amicably. It's not unexpected if we've been expecting them, is it? I asked her. Deaton, I called. Alpha, he answered. Let's go have some fun. Jason's pav. We were already outside the Crescent Pack. All we are waiting for is the night to act as a cover for us. The moon would be at his peak by 12 at midnight, and we should be in by 10. Air's warning might have been a timely convention, but there's not much I can change when I'm already at the devil's door. Hours passed, and night came. We all got up and moved to our respective groups. All right, guys, I turned to everyone. Remember the plan? Get in, watch out for each other, and get out. He knows we are coming, so be extra careful. They all nodded silently. I could smell their readiness and nervousness for what we were about to do. Carlton? He nodded at me. Josh? He did the same. All right. Let's do this. I'm coming for you, baby, I said into the mate link, even though I knew she couldn't hear it. Everyone dispersed and went to their respective entry points. The moon casted a silvery glow over the forest as Cole and I led the rest of the pack to the entry point. Some had already shifted to their wolves at this point. Isabel, stay close to us or another pack member. I can't explain to Aries why I rescued her, but lost her friend, I said in her mind. The air itself was thick with tension. Cole starts becoming restless the closer we got to Maverick's pack. Well, as restless as Cole can be. His face still maintained his calm, indifference look. What's wrong? I'm not sure myself, he answered in confusion. Don't get distracted. Distraction could cause your death. He nodded in reply. We picked out a selected few and asked them to take out the guards as quietly as possible. The air crackled with tension, an ominous prelude to the impending clash. I signaled everyone to stop. Something's wrong, I said quietly into the night. It's almost too easy. Alpha, Cole spoke in a low voice. Maverick is expecting us. This won't be an ordinary or easy rescue mission. We'd tread carefully, but Ares needs us. We can't falter now. We have less than 2 hours to get her out before they do something sick to her, I responded quietly in determination. We got in and moved stealthily, navigating the perilous terrain as we went deeper into Maverick's territory. Every scattered to cover more grounds. The moon above acts as our only source of light. We are here. You know what to do, I said to the pack. Be prepared for anything. He knows we are here. Cole and I are gonna go grab Aries. Her scent was faint, but I could still smell them. As we approached the dungeons, I smelt something different. Sure, Aries' scent was there, but it was too fresh. Almost like someone was trying to plant her scent to throw us off. The more we approached where Cole said Maverick was keeping Aries, the more scent of unfamiliar werewolves hung in the air, a subtle warning that we were entering into a trap. Wait, Cole immediately paused. Allison's scent is here also. Maybe you should shift, he suggested. It might make it easier to focus on one smell. Don't forget to kill her on sight, I said. We both hear footsteps approaching us. It sounded like 3 people. We poised for attack as they come closer. Wait. An older woman said, "We know where she is." I'm about to answer when I get distracted by Cole's low growl. I turn to find him watching the younger version of the woman's neck. "What's your name?" he asked her. "Ashley. If you're Ashley, that must make you Mr. and Mrs. Powers." I concluded Aries' adoptive parents. I remembered their names because they hurt her. "I, Cole Turner, reject you, Ashley Powers, as my mate," Cole said. No wonder he's been different since we got in. This was a decision I wasn't going to condemn. Ashley doesn't deserve my sympathy. Her mother starts to cry while her father holds her, glaring heatedly at Cole. "Why?" "I can't be mates with someone who steals her sister's first mate and get marked by him," Cole answered. "I don't do second-hand goods." Ashley painfully swallowed the lump in her throat before speaking. "I accept the rejection," she said finally. "You don't know the full story, and I will not allow you judge me." "I don't need to judge you," Cole answered. "You mean nothing to me." Where is she? If they thought this would free them of all their guilt, they were joking. But I'd accept their help if it means finding Aries faster. Maverick and Claire already took her to the clearing. Ashley answered, "He isn't alone, and I doubt 2 of you can take him on." "You put him on such a high pedestal." "I'm gonna enjoy breaking him," I said, mine showing me the way. "I can't take you there." "He'd kill me too." She shook her head in rejection. "But I can point you in the right direction." I nodded in acceptance. "Please save our daughter," her mother said. Her words meant nothing to me, and they know it. I was getting Aries because she's my mate, not because she's their daughter. "We know nothing we do or say can change your view of us. But please get her out of here," her father echoed. "I'm glad you know that," I said to him. "Show me the way," I said. "I'm coming with you guys," Isabel interrupted. I had no idea when she got here. "It's dangerous." I know she had this unwavering look in her eye. "Okay, come on." Ashley walks us halfway before she stops. "It's just across this field," she points in a direction. "It could be a trap. But it's less than an hour to midnight, and I don't want to take any chances." We crossed the threshold into the heart of the field she showed us. Maverick's voice, a taunting murmur, carried through the winds to us. "Welcome, Jason." He said, "I have heard so much about you." Eris wouldn't shut up about how you were coming for her. The moment I got closer, I could sense Aries. The wind carried her scent to me, along with 2 others. I ignored his obvious taunt will distract them. I whispered quietly to Isabel. "While you get her," I nodded at Isabel. "I can't say I've been dying to meet you too, but I'm glad you're a fan," I taunted. "You talk big for someone at a disadvantage." The wind carried his voice to us. I wouldn't exactly say disadvantage, but I would. "You didn't think it would be that easy invading my pack, did you? Did you assume I would leave my pack defenseless?" "I wasn't counting on it," I answered as we moved closer in the voice direction. "Good. I want you to know one thing he said you got in, because I wanted you to." "The fact that you believe that makes me think you are delusional," I replied. "Good," he said, smirking at us as we came into view. He wasn't alone. It would have been boring otherwise. "Isabel," I called. She looked at me, now she nodded and immediately left to search for Aries. "Do you think you can take out the other guy while I shut him up for life?" I asked Cole without breaking off eye contact. He simply nodded. "Hold up on your violence." Maverick said, "I'm sure your hands are itching to punch me. But if it's any consolation, she was mine first before she became yours." I let out a growl. She was never yours. Temper. He said, "How do you feel about a little chase?" "Let me show you the extent of how prepared I was for you," he said. "I'm not interested in playing hide and seek with you. Let's settle this here and now," I said, as Cole and I stepped closer in his direction. "I've been waiting a long time for this too." "Too bad," Maverick said. "I enjoy the games," he said. Before he and his companion ran in the direction of the pack, Cole and I quickly went after them, anger and fury igniting my speed. We slowly come to a halt when we see the chaos around us. The moon had reached its zenith, casting an ethereal glow over the battlefield. The werewolves, fueled by adrenaline as they faced each other with eyes ablaze, not one of them willing to yield. We could see Maverick across the field from us, flanked by his companion. He doesn't seem to be the beta, but he looked more like Carlton, so he must be on E of the head warriors. As we stood on the opposing side, Cole and I decided to join the fight and slowly make our way to Maverick. The closer I got to him, the more my eyes gleamed with a primal ferocity. The clash began, a symphony of snarls, clashes of claws, and the metallic ring of swords. In the heart of the chaos, Maverick and I locked our eyes on each other, in a silent promise to kill each other. I tried not to kill as many innocent people as possible. It wasn't their fault they had a psychopath as an alpha, and I'm sure if given the choice they wouldn't be fighting a war with us. "Call your people off," I yelled, as I fought harder to get closer to him. There doesn't have to be casualties in this. But don't get me wrong, I will take down as many people as I have to get to you. "Why do you think they are unwilling to fight?" Maverick yelled back. "No one wants to fight a losing battle," I answered. "Don't count your chickens before they hatch." "You haven't won yet," he chuckled. "I would love to see your face when you lose." I said nothing and worked on clearing more people off my path. I could see Cole helping me out also. He's been silently fighting beside me since we got here. 2 guys came at me at the same time when they thought I was distracted looking at Cole. I simply knocked their heads together. "You fight really well," Maverick voiced out again from the distance. "I can almost see why she chose you. But I want you to know something. He said you will always be my replacement." "Actually, it's the other way round." I threw one of his pack members in his direction. "You will never be me. Not for her, and not for anybody. You are a sorry excuse for an alpha, and an even sorrier one for a mate." I watched his face harden as he got angry and his fist clench. I was getting to him. "Alpha, I've gotten word from Josh. Cole said Mason is still alive. He's told Josh what Maverick is planning, and Carlton has taken care of Allison," he informed me. "Make sure he confirms she's dead," I said. "She's a cat with 9 lives. I'd like to have one less problem off my hands." He nodded in reply. They probably reported to him instead of me to avoid distracting me, but they knew he was close, and he'd report their messages to me. It was smart and duly appreciated. I was closer to Maverick now. I had just about 3 more people standing between us. I locked eyes with him. "I would suggest you move out of my way peacefully. My patience is wearing thin," at the moment I said to the guy in front of me. He shifted into his wolf as his response. So did the one after him. I guess there was no easy way to do this. They wanted to fight. The first guy leapt at me, fangs wide open, his strong jaws ready to rip my arms off my body. I moved to the side and gave him a heavy blow at the side of his head. His wolf fell to the side, a good distance away, and whimpered in pain. "Get up!" Maverick yelled at him. The wolf struggled to get up again. The fight was still evident in his eyes, but he knew he was no match for me. He ran back towards me. He was going in for the kill this time. His eyes had bloodlust in them, and they were set on my neck. The moment he came for me, I grabbed him by the jaws, knocked him out, and used his body to knock out his companion. The last guy read the fury on my face and saw how I was still holding his friend, and stepped back before giving more distance between us. "I'm tired of these games," I said, and finally dropped the passed-out wolf in my hands. "Let's do things by the book," I suggested. "I don't exactly enjoy playing by the rules." "They're boring," Maverick said. "That's why it's so much more fun breaking them." I ignored his attempt at saying no. According to the law set by the late king and queen, I started. "You can challenge an alpha to a duel to settle a dispute, or stop a war. Winner takes all. I knew his greed and pride wouldn't let him refuse, especially in front of his pack. His face hardened in anger, but he knew his hands were tied. I locked eyes with a few of my pack members and the allies we came with. My pack looked at me and gave me nods. They supported my decision. They knew I would win. I faced him back and issued a challenge. I, Alpha Jason of Crescent Pack, challenges you, Alpha Maverick of Moonstone Pack, to a duel, I said. Everyone paused their movements at my next words to the death. I hit the nail on the head with my words. Saying no meant weakness, and we both knew that. I accept, he said. I'm not going to hold back. I wasn't planning to either, I replied. Everyone stepped back and cleared an open space for us. They stood side by side as we circled each other. I could taste the anticipation in the air. If there was one thing werewolves love, it was a good fight. I planned to give them one. I almost feel bad for you, Maverick said as we circled each other. You have no idea the amount of power I have, laying in me right now, just waiting for me to use. You talk a lot, I taunted him. Show me what you got. I don't want you to think I'm unfair, Maverick said as he picked out one of the weapons someone brought over. I had no idea when he went to get them or when he came back with them. I walked closer and picked out the whip. It wasn't the same as my chains, but I could make do for now. He was obviously hiding his strength behind weapons, and I planned to do the same. The only difference was I was good with any weapon. He instantly came at me with his axe the minute I picked out the whip. I digged swiftly. He was way slower than Josh. It was easy to evade his next few attempts. I stretched my whip towards him, and it hit him squarely in his chest, creating a long gash. Blood seeped slowly from the fresh wound. Oh, the crowd said, forgetting who was the enemy and who wasn't in the face of our fight. I thought you said you had power. Just because you drew first blood doesn't mean you'll survive the night, he replied and came at me again, this time with more accuracy and speed. I moved a little slowly and he managed to slice a little at my hand. Anyone can draw blood, he smirked. We got serious and went for each other's head a few more times. Neither one of us leaves an opening to attack. The crowd was pumped. The more we attempted to take off the other's head. Chants and cheers fill the air. We both had more wounds on our bodies inflicted by each other. You've overstayed your welcome, Jason, Maverick growled, throwing away his axe. I better put in your place. He shifted into his wolf. He had pure black fur and the build of an alpha. I should be the one putting you in your place, I snarled, and did the same. You overgrown pup, I shifted too. Dax and his wolf went for each other, their claws clashing in a whirlwind of aggression. He had stayed far too long without Ares, and he knew the person in front of him was the reason why. Cheers rang out as we both shifted. There was a shift in the air as I decided to use my powers. I covered Dax's fur in fire armor. Gasps ring out as I do that. Even Maverick paused before he took a tentative step closer. I guess Allison didn't tell him I could do that. This time, I went in for the attack first. I cover each of my paws with flames as I strike. The smell of burnt fur filled the air when I touched him. Only my pack was cheering now. The Moonstone Pack looked at their alpha in fear. Dax went for his hind legs. He bit a good chunk of flesh off. Maverick's pained howl rang out. The louder his howl, the more my pack cheered. He shifted back into his human form, and I followed suit. I stepped closer to him. What happened? I asked. You said you wanted a fight, I said as I covered my human body with my flame armor. The dig was up. I no longer had to hide what I could do. Actually, I'm thinking of reconsidering. He said. It's obvious I got played by my sidekick. Let's sit down and talk about things, eh? What do you say? You blew your chance to talk things, I said calmly to the death, remember? He ran for another weapon. I don't stop him. After he chose a new one, he circled me, like a predator to a prey. "Come at me," I said, as I formed my chains of flames. I whipped the chains on the floor and the ground cracked under the power. He looked at me, frightened. I smirked. "I'm going to hurt you as much as you hurt Ares. Maybe even more," I said, "and it's going to be slow and painful. You'd wish I'd kill you faster." I made the first move and threw my chains in his direction. He wasn't as nimble or fast as Josh. The fire burnt off a part of his thighs. He came at me with fury and pain evident in his eyes. "This should have been mine," he said furiously. "It was never meant to be yours," I said instead, and sneaked my chain towards him again, with the intention of doing more damage. Our surroundings echoed with the clanging clash of metals. The crowd has stepped back further and grown still, entranced with our fight. I promised a good show, and I was iron to deliver. "Ready to give up yet?" I asked mockingly, just joking. "I plan to break you completely." "You wouldn't last against me without your powers," he said, "and you know that." "Actually, I have been fighting with you without my powers, and guess what?" I asked. "You were barely keeping up." We battled on, and I increased the intensity of my flame, attempting to end these as soon as possible. In a calculated maneuver, I wrapped the chains around his legs and dragged him down. My pack cheered, and he gasped. "Wait!" he shouted as I pulled him closer to deliver the finishing blow with the knife I just made with my other hands. "We can still settle these amicably." "We can't. You have failed as an alpha and a mate. I said you are only after power, and that power is something you'll never get. Not in this lifetime, and certainly not the next. Whose fault do you think it is that I turned out this way?" he said in anger. "Huh? Yours," I said calmly. "You are who you are as a product of your choice and action." "So," he said, "are you going to kill me?" He was doing a good job of faking his courage in the face of his death. "Yes," I answered. "Get on with it," then he said in resignation. The crowd stilled, waiting for what I would do. The challenge was to the death. Technically, I was already winning. All I had to do was make the last move and end his life. I stepped closer to him and brought the knife even closer. I could see the flames in his eyes as the blade got closer. "Wait," a voice I've been dying to hear called out. It felt like it had been ages. I stood to my full height with Maverick still in my hands. The crowd parted as she came into view, looking as beautiful and majestic as ever. "Let me do it." "Ares Pav, what did you do to me earlier?" I asked Clara. She said she wasn't helping Maverick, but the incantations and the mumbo-jumbo jazz she did earlier makes me believe otherwise. "I thought you said you weren't helping him." "Don't tell me you have the chance to kill me yourself," I asked. "Are you terrified yet?" she asked. When I said nothing, she continued, "Don't worry. I still plan to kill you myself." She smiled. "So what did you do earlier?" "I simply made the wind pick up speed," she shrugged. "Slicing his palm was fun, though. I just wanted to be sure she didn't give me anything like he kept bragging about. I would love to see his face when he finds out he's got nothing." "Your little mate is here?" She paused her movements to look at me. "Don't worry. Maverick will keep him entertained until he comes for your body." She still believes she can kill me without any issues. That's hilarious. "So, when are you going to kill me exactly?" I was genuinely curious. "You are dying, so I'll answer your questions out of the kindness in my heart." She smiled. "In less than an hour. I hear the sound of moving bushes and tune into them. Someone's coming. Since they were sneaking, that means they are allies." "Are you done prepping for murder?" I asked. I was trying to buy time. I don't know if it was working, though. But anything was better than nothing. "Almost. Just one final ingredient, and that's what we're waiting for," she said. Her final ingredient must be the moon. The bush finally cleared, and I caught a glimpse of Isabel. "Distract her," she mouthed. I blinked twice to tell her I understood. I never really asked, But don't you people have rules against killing? Surely her coven, or whatever they call themselves, must surely have rules. Not when they killed one of our own, no. She answered. And by they, I mean your parents. When they killed mine, she said. I watched Isabel come up behind her, but Claire was ready. She threw a powder at Isabel. You really thought I didn't see you, huh? She asked mockingly. I could hear you creeping and crawling like the dog you are. I watched Isabel struggle to open her eyes. What did you do to her? I struggled with the binds. I had to help her somehow. Nothing really. She shrugged, just powder and pepper grounded together. It must be burning her eyes right now. I've had worse, Isabel said as she slowly opened her eyes. They looked red and blotchy. You need more than just pepper to take out a wolf, she said, and shifted. Clara stepped back as Isabel stepped closer. Even I can tell her figure looks menacing. I would kill her if I had to, but tell her to stop. Unless you want innocent blood spilled, Clara warned me softly. It's funny you think you can take out a wolf after I said that. Isabel went for her head as fast as she could. Clara could barely finish her spells before Isabel attacked her. Pain, Clara said. I'm gonna make you feel pain. She casted a spell. And Isabel wiggled in pain. Stop! I yell. Please! You're hurting her. I pleaded. That's the whole point, she replied. She only stopped when someone she least expected came over and cut off her limbs. Isabel finally stopped wiggling in pain. I looked to see our new savior only to find James, but he wasn't looking away from Isabel. James? I whispered in awe and question. Yeah, he answered. Why are you helping us? I asked. I was never in support of what he's doing, he replied. That's why I've been sneaking you vitamins when Maverick's away and you're asleep. You did that? I asked. How did you think you survived all this while? He teased me. Isabel came over to my back and cut the ropes loose around my hands and legs. All the while, James kept watching her. After cutting me loose, she shifted back. Hi, she said to James. God, you're beautiful, he said without taking his eyes off her. They were a perfect match for each other. Isabel, I called. I was happy to see her. It feels like it's been ages since I saw her. Where? How? I asked. He's here, she answered. He's with Maverick. We can join them now. Wait, I said Mason. He's still here. We have to get him. I set him loose. He's with a guy named Carlton, James answered. You think this is the end? Claire voiced from the floor. She was almost completely bled out. You think it will stop? I had a fail-safe plan out in place. Yeah, I know about Fiona. I said I know she's coming, and I'm waiting for her. I smiled. Celine already gave me the heads up I needed. But you don't know how close she is, she said. I'm sure you'll tell me, I said. I didn't really feel any remorse for her. So, go ahead. She's close. I told her if I didn't return in 4 months, she should find her way to this pack. It's been more than 4 months. Well, I'll be sure to welcome her on your behalf, I said to her. James, can you take me to where Maverick is? I asked. Sure, he answered after that. I'd like to get to know you, mate, he said to Isabel, who nodded. I know how long she's been wanting this, and I was happy for her. As James led us there, I couldn't help asking about Jason and Adriana and Josh and everyone. I wanted to know everything. Isabel was patient enough to answer every question. She gave me a change of shirt so I could look better, which I appreciated, but highly doubt it was necessary. All I wanted right at this moment was to get Maverick and get us all out of here. The closer we got to the field, the louder the cheers reached us. Something big was happening, and I'm sure Maverick is involved, and maybe even Jason. When we got closer, the noise suddenly stopped. So did we. There was no more cheer or yelling, just quiet. As we approached the field, we finally heard Jason and Maverick's voices. So, Maverick said. Are you going to kill me? Yes, Jason answered. How long have I longed to hear his voice? It was soothing to hear him again. Get on with it then, Maverick said. We have to run faster. Come on, I said, and broke into a run. I see Jason about to stab him with his blade of flames and shout, Wait. He immediately paused and slowly stood up with Maverick still in his hands. Let me do it, I said. He stared at me with so much longing, and I reciprocated it with all I had in me. I wanted nothing more than to run into his arms, but I had to deal with business first. If anyone is going to kill Maverick, it will be me. So, let me kill him. Here to get a piece of me, too? Maverick said to me. Well, get in line. You don't get to talk, Maverick, I said slowly as I walked closer to them. Your talking privileges are over. You should be telling me thank you, he said instead. Why is that? I asked, why do you believe you deserve a thank you? Because I'm sure after this you and your mate will get even closer. He said, don't you think I had a hand in that? He asked. I call out my verdant heartstring the closer I get to them. I hear a low gasp at the sight of her beauty. Why didn't you tell me you could do this? Maverick asked me, like he deserved an answer. You were supposed to tell me. I didn't tell you because it is none of your damn business. You lost that right to it a long time ago, I said, and pulled back an arrow. I thought you believe everyone has a second chance? He said in a last-ditch effort to plead his case. Don't you believe I deserve one too? He asked. Not really, I shrugged. You don't deserve any sympathy. I know you helped her. He turned to James. I want you to always be tortured by my dear each time you think of me. You have done a lot of damage, James answered. What you are getting is as a result of your choice. And you have made so many wrong choices lately. Moonstone pack members in the field started dropping their weapons at James' word, slowly surrendering. You don't get to say any last words. I pulled back on the string goodbye. Maverick, I released the arrow and it went straight for heart. Jason decided to stab him with the sword for good measure. Jason only let him go after his chest stopped moving. High, beautiful, he spread his arms out in a hug. I ran into them, and it felt like home. He felt like home. I don't look beautiful. But, hi, I replied in his arms. I missed you. I missed you so much. I missed you too, baby. He squeezed me even tighter before letting go. You have no idea how much. I could only see when I closed my eyes. I sniffed back some tears. It was hard for me. It hurt each time I opened my eyes and couldn't see you. It hurt me just as much. Beautiful, he pulled me closer and kissed my forehead, and I felt the familiar butterflies and sparks fill my belly again. A clearing voice finally reminded us we were not alone. Sorry, I said. What were you doing before I got here? I asked. Well, with the rules of the duel that I just won, I can take it all. But I don't want that. Jason addressed the crowd. You are all allowed your own choices. You can stay with me or choose to leave. Actually, we'd prefer to stay with the new alpha, someone from the crowd said. We'd like James to be our alpha, he said. More people came outside their houses when the sound of fighting died down, and they all agreed with what he said. Why? I am a beta, not an alpha, James stuttered. I meant to be a beta. That's how it works, he said in a panic. You have proven to be a better alpha than he was. For the last few months, you have single-handedly taken care of the pack, someone answered, and the crowd nodded. We would love to have you as our alpha, everyone agreed. Well, the people know what they want. Alpha James Jason said thank you for your help. It was my absolute pleasure. They shook hands. Besides, it wasn't all me. I had help. From who? Your parents? Your sister? Some of the pack members he listed off? They all chipped in. Why would they help? They never really liked me. My parents probably only loved me because they were obligated to. Because irrespective of all they've done, they still love you, he explained, even Ashley. My parents, I can believe, I said. Ashley, not so much. All in good time, he said. It's good to see you, even if the conditions aren't the best. He still has a good heart. Not many people had one of those. I nodded at him. Hello, princess. Josh's voice pulled me out of our discussion. Josh. I smiled so wide and pulled him into a hug that he gladly returned. Don't ever disappear on me again, he said into my hair. I'm not sure my heart can take it. I promised I'd take care of you, but I can't do that if you keep running off. I chucked. I won't run off again. I promise. Seeing him sparks memories of my parents and Celine and the time I spent with them. Josh, Jason, I saw them, I said quietly. Saw who? Jason asked. My parents and they were wonderful, I gushed. You have no idea. How? Josh asked. Celine, they looked at me in confusion, the moon goddess. You figured it out on your own, Jason said. I guess he knew something. You really are amazing. She's closer to us than you think. I winked. As fun as it is catching up, we best be on our way back home. Cole interrupted. Hello, Luna. I nodded at him, both in greeting and appreciation. Go and get everyone. We leave in 40 minutes, Jason said to Josh. I could see Isabel and James conversing on the side, getting to know each other. They both looked genuinely happy. Everyone went about packing and getting ready. Friends and allies alike helped each other up. Are you okay? Jason asked, rubbing my back. You can talk to me. I know, I said. I'm just taking a moment all to myself. I'm sorry I couldn't come sooner. He looked torn. You came just in time. I touched his cheeks, and I always believed you were coming eventually. Slowly, everyone gathered around. Carlton and some other familiar faces showed up at the field. Carlton gave me a bone-crushing hug. Good to see you, Luna, he said after letting me go. Now we don't have to hear Alpha whine anymore. They guys laughed at that. I turned to Jason, who just shrugged in embarrassment. All right, Alpha, Cole announced. I believe we are all here and ready to go, he said. Okay, Jason nodded. Once again, thanks for all your help, he said to James. No one's leaving. After the stranger's announcement, she went on to start casting spells. Everyone gathered at the field at that moment were unable to move. Where's Clara? She asked. No one in particular. Bleeding out where she tried to kill me? I answered. That's as if she's not dead yet. You are so arrogant for the daughter of a murderer. She said you really need someone to put you in your place. Everyone felt whatever it was that she casted at that moment. Some people started pleading and grabbing their heads in pain. Fiona, I called, you have to stop this. I gritted my teeth through the pain. Unlike my dead sister and her husband, I don't have to follow your orders. She said you are their queen, not mine. She increased the effect of whatever it was that she was doing. I struggled to call out my verdant heartstring. When it finally formed, I wasted no time firing an arrow at her head. She simply stopped the attack mid-air before throwing it to the ground, and it turned back to water. Are you trying to kill me like you killed my niece? She asked angrily. You wolves never change. Once a dog, always a dog, she said. Stay. We all couldn't move at her command. No matter how hard I try, my limbs refuse to work. Jason, can you feel your hands? I asked hopefully. No, I can't, he said through his teeth. One thing was for sure. She is definitely stronger than Clara, and I doubt she's using ordinary magic. I could resist Clara a little, but Fiona was controlling an entire field of people. And that's not something normal witches should be capable of. What are you doing now? It took a very hard effort to get that question out. I'm going to finish what my niece started. I'm going to wipe you out of existence. After I return your wolf back to its owner, she said without looking up at me. You know, This obsession your family has over me is not exactly healthy, I said. And for the last time, it's not my fault your sister and her husband died. I had nothing to do with that. I am a victim as much as you guys are. Well, is it your fault my niece died? She asked. She was trying to kill me, I said angrily. I had to defend myself. I was honestly getting tired of repeating myself. I just realized no matter what I say or do, they would never let me be. Ares? Athena? I said emotionally through our link. You are finally here. The wolf's bane must be out of my system. I haven't heard her voice in so long. I practically teared up when she called my name, albeit weakly. What happened? The last thing I remember was you walking to Allison's ward, Athena said. Yeah, she drugged us and knocked us out before handing us over to Maverick. I knew she was messed up. Her voice was getting stronger, and so was her presence in my mind. And what's happening now? Another maniac after my life, I said. You really are popular, she teased. I would have laughed if I wasn't being held down against my will. Can you do something about it? I asked. She might just be my last hope if I wanted to break out her spells. Yes, she replied, but I'll need time. I'm not at full strength yet. I can help you break free, but you'll only have one chance to end it. I can do that, I said. What do you need me to do? 10 minutes, she said, if you can keep her from renewing her spell, or adding any more to it. I can help you break free. Okay, 10 minutes is something I can work with. Emma, Fiona, I said weakly. Her slight pause tells me she's listening. So I continued, Your niece told me step by step on how she planned to kill me. And I was wondering if you could do the same. I would appreciate it if I know how I'm going to die. You've got jokes, don't you? Not jokes. I just wished to know after saying that. Athena gave me a little strength and I felt the feeling in my toes. Don't worry. I'm sure you'll figure it all out when it starts happening to you, Fiona said. But it will be so much easier if you just told me, I replied. I could do a show and tell right now if you want. She finally looked up and said, I can give you a preview of the first thing I'm going to do to you. You know what? I just changed my mind, I said quickly, remembering what Athena said. I think I might actually prefer to wait. I warned my sister about coming to work for your parents, she said. He started circling us with weird powder. She wouldn't listen. Look where that got her. She went on to start drawing some symbols on the ground, outside the circle. Athena anytime would be good now, I said in a panic. I doubt she needed much time to prepare like her niece. I'm sure you can see what she's doing. I'm trying, she said. I knew she was, but we were running out of time. Literally, I could feel my hands at that moment. Just a little more push and I would be out of her hold. In a few moments now, you'll find out exactly what you wanted to know, Fiona said. Heard that, Athena? I ask if you don't do anything in the next few seconds, we might die. Get that? No Jason, no Adriana, nothing. Dramatic? Much? She asked, like we weren't second away from not existing. Athena, try moving, she said. I did just that. I can't move yet, Athena, but I can feel the muscles on my body. We are almost there. Just a little more, I encouraged her. I watched Fiona draw 2 more times on the floor before Athena spoke to me again. I'm done. I tried moving my body and saw that I could. With no hesitation at all, I instantly formed my bow and arrow as quietly as I could without drawing her attention. I pulled tightly on the arrow, as far back as I could. Fiona, I called. She paused what she was doing. I could read her already rising anger from her body movement. You shouldn't even be able to talk, she said, and slowly turned in my direction. Peek a book. What? How? She took several steps back. You are not supposed to be able to break free, she whispered. I should have known there was something wrong with you when you could talk. Well, I got angry when I asked you to tell me your plans, I said. Your refusal gave me the strength to break free. I fired the arrow on her right shoulder. It was the dominant one. Fiona grunted in pain, but tried not to show it even if her shoulders were bleeding onto her dress. She started to say some new incantations. She was really persistent. I pulled back on the arrow and fired at her other shoulder. That managed to shut her up again. I don't want to hear another word unless it's the spell to break everyone free, I said. Trust me. You do not want to test me. Why? She asked. You gonna kill me like you killed my sister? Well, newsflash. I'm not scared to die, but I'll make sure I drag you to hell with me, she said in a guttural voice. I keep telling you I didn't kill your sister, I said angrily. I am as much a victim as you guys are. But if we are to lay the blame, who do you think blabbed her mouth about the prophecy that only my parents and a select few, including your sister, knew, that got my parents killed, huh? My sister would never reveal a prophecy to an outsider, she retorted. You are lying. So your sister can't have spilled her guts to someone, I said. But a baby was capable of killing your sister? I fired another arrow, this time on her left thigh. See, I am tired, I said, while taking a step towards the circle she drew. I am tired of being the object of obsession for people who just want to own me for what I am. I am tired of fueling your anger, when it had nothing to do with me. But do you know what I'm most tired of? I asked her as I finally stepped out of her circle. Her eyes grew wide and she shook her head rapidly. Partly due to fear and partly due to the fact that my eyes were glowing and I could feel myself lifting off the ground. I am tired of putting the lives of the people I love in danger and not being able to protect them, I finished, and fired the next arrow on her other thigh. Her legs gave up and she fell acrimoniously on the floor. Killing me would just prove what I've always known about you, Fiona said. That you bring nothing but death and destruction to anyone who crosses your path. I don't care for your opinions about me, but I am going to end you, I said, and fired the last arrow to her heart. It's a good thing I made a blood oath with the devil to bring me back, she said with struggle as blood poured out of her mouth. Her body finally slumped when she took her final breath. I looked back at the circle. Her spell should be broken since the one who casted it was dead, but everyone still couldn't move. I slowly got down and walked back to the circle, but I couldn't get in. It was locking me out. I kept trying to force my way, but it didn't work. Jason, hold on, I said to him. His eyes were wide with panic. He didn't have the strength to talk, so I couldn't understand him, and the mate bond was not working outside the circle. He kept looking behind my back with wide eyes, but I ignored that and kept forcing my way into the circle. Suddenly, I felt an invisible rope around me. I did say I made a deal with someone. Supposed to be dead, Fiona said, until I kill you. I don't think I'll be dying anytime soon. She pulled me tightly to her. How? I asked. It was my turn to ask now. Let's just say I have a very strong resentment towards you, she said, and until it's resolved, I'm not going anywhere. She pulled tighter. I looked at Jason at that moment. Now I understood the panic in his eyes. He was trying to warn me. He was scared. He is still scared. Well, I pulled her me instead. I'm not ready to die. I knew I wouldn't be able to use my bow and arrow. If there was any time to improvise, that would be now. Athena, I called, still doing a push and pull game with Fiona. Are you still here? Yes, she answered weakly. I know you're tired, but I need you to give me all you've got right now, I said. Please. She doesn't respond and just moves to do as I asked. I pulled Fiona easier now. The moment I saw her getting closer, I formed a dagger in my hand. No time to pay attention to the details. I pulled until she was standing at my front. I wasted no time burying the dagger in her heart. "I'll just keep coming back," she said. "Not this time. I said I'll make sure you can't." I heard the sound of footsteps running towards me and looked up to find Josh. He saw the bleeding body in my hands, but chose to ignore it. "What happened here?" he asked, looking around. "She happened," I answered. "Can you start a fire for me? I need to burn her body." He nodded and got to it. "I'm away for 1 second and all this happens," he muttered. As he worked. "You really are a source of excitement, Princess." "Work faster," I reprimanded. I watched him gather the logs and some dry leaves. "Light the fire, Josh." Immediately he did. I threw her body into the fire. That was when she woke up. A good chunk of her had already burnt, and I watched her struggle without being able to do anything. I was glad she was awake for every second of it. The barrier around the circle eventually broke, and everyone started moving. I could see Jason walking hastily to me. He felt so close and so far away at the same time. The more I tried to focus on him, the more my eyes blurred. I felt the world spin before I passed out. The last thing I hear is the same familiar voice I've come to love since the first time I heard it. "I've got you, beautiful." Jason's pav. "Do you think something's wrong?" Josh asked as he paced the room. "She's been asleep for 2 days." "She is just resting," I said. "I really hope that is what she's doing. I'm sure she'll come around soon. After Erez passed out 2 nights ago in my arms, she hasn't woken up." James allowed us to stay until she recuperated. Her parents have been coming 5 times a day to check on her. They stay far away and just ask James how he's doing. Their actions show how bad they feel about what happened to her. I've given permission for Kane and Killian's pack members to return back home with the promise of holding a meeting soon, with them to thank them for their help and give them a rundown of what happened. "I think we can travel with her now," Josh said, surely. "You must know how Adriana misses you. Plus, I'd like to see my mate and assure her I'm still alive." I took a deep breath. He was right. I do miss my daughter a lot, and I know if I stayed any longer, she'll be hard to console. "Sure. You can gather everyone and tell them we'll make our way back to the pack when the sun sets," I said. "And Isabel?" he asked. "Right, the mate situation with James. I'm sure Erez already knows, but I believe she'd still like to see her friend before she leaves finally. You can ask her what she wants. I said I'll support any decision she chooses." "Okay," he said, and walked to the door before he paused. "She's going to be fine. She's stronger than anyone I know, and that includes you," he said. I nodded in reply, and he left. I didn't want to break down in tears in front of a pack member. I was finally alone with her in the room. Funny, I haven't seen her in almost 2 weeks, and I finally do. She's asleep, and I can't see her beautiful eyes. "You need to wake up, beautiful," I said. Quietly. I don't know how much my heart can take any longer. I knew I wasn't going to get a reply, but I still hoped for one. And you know the thing about hopes? You get crushed when it doesn't work. A knock on the door interrupts my moment with Aries. "Jason," James called from behind the door. He's been nothing short of helpful, offering to let us stay, patching our winded guys, providing food even though we said we could hunt for our own. I understood why the pack wanted him as their alpha instead. "Come on in, James," I said. He stepped into the room. His footsteps were light. He was conscious about making noise that might distract Aries. "I saw Josh gathering your guys. He said you guys were leaving soon." "Today, precisely." "Yes, that's right," I answered. "I wouldn't want to impose any longer. You have already done more than enough." "Well, there's something I'd like to discuss with you, if you free for it," he said nervously. "Don't worry about Isabel. I said I'll let her stay if that is what she decides." No. It's not about Isabel. I mean, it is about Isabel. But that's not what I want to discuss." He said I want to discuss the wishes of some of the pack members. What about them? I ask. Well, some of them came to discuss moving with you to your pack. He said, I know this is abrupt, but I was wondering if it was possible? He asked. Why the sudden change of heart? I asked instead. They said something about wanting to serve the last royal heir and atone for how they treated Ares in pack. He answered, and they are grateful for how Ares defended all of them against Fiona without any prejudice. So all it took was a little power display from Ares, and suddenly she's everyone's favorite person. Okay, I can do that, I said, but there will be conditions. If they can accept that, then they can come with. Okay, thank you. I will pass on your message, he said, and finally left after giving one last look at sleeping Ares. I hope whatever she's dreaming about in that long sleep of hers is beautiful. Her face looks peaceful, so that should mean something. I sat by her bedside for the next few hours, having a one-sided conversation with her until an unexpected guest came over. Hi, she said quietly. What do you want? I really tried not to be hostile, but with her, I couldn't help it. I just wanted to say I'm sorry for my hand in this, Ashley said. I'm not the one you need to be apologizing to. I said I'm not the one who should be hearing those words. I know, she said, but I'm too much of a coward to face her after everything I've done. I don't think she'd ever forgive me. I didn't want to sympathize with her. Tell her all these by yourself. I said I'm sure she'd appreciate a sincere apology from her sister. She nodded before leaving quietly. A few minutes after her departure, Josh came back to tell me they were all ready to go, including the pack members that wanted to leave with us. The cars we drove were already parked in the pack. Josh, Cole, and the rest went to get them, so all I had to do was carry Ares to the car. By the time I got out, some of the pack members and James were outside to say goodbyes. I saw Isabel in one of the cars. Isabel? I asked. It seems she's made her decision. She said she was going to stay until Eris woke up, before she'll come to join me, he said. And I'm okay with that. He shrugged. You guys would make a fine pair, I said. But if you treat her bad and she comes to complain to my mate, who might end up worrying because she's too compassionate, I'll come for your head. I know, he smirked. Thank you for all your help. I offered my hands, and he took them in a firm handshake. It was my pleasure, he said. I got into the car, and we all slowly drove out. The other cars flowed behind as we left. The only thing on my mind now was how to wake Ares from her nap before we get back to Adriana. I can't have my daughter crying. Ares Pov. Just because I said I gave a piece of my soul to Athena doesn't mean you should expand yourself to this point, Celine said. What were you thinking, child? Am I dead? I asked fearfully. I didn't want my thoughts to be true, but if it was, then I'd gladly accept my fate. At least I know I died saving Jason and all the others. Not quite, Celine said. But if you had pushed more than you had, you would be dead now. So how am I here? I asked. Wait, is this another warning? Does it ever really end? You are as dramatic as your father, she chuckled. No, this isn't another warning. When you passed out, your subconscious must have wanted to come here, and having Athena's soul back made it happen. How can I go back? I asked. Jason must be so worried. All in good time. She said, give yourself a chance to recuperate. But I started to protest. Do you want to miss a chance to spend with your parents while you are recovering? There's no way for me to go back right now, is there? I concluded. I'm afraid not. She said you used more than you should have, and not even while at full strength. You have to let your mind, soul, and your body repair itself. What about Athena? I can't feel her, even though the wolf's bane is out of my system. She's in a separate place, she answered. I'm tending to her as we speak. You can do that? I asked in awe. You can be at two places at once? Not really. She said this is like my astral form, my real body, and half of my soul is where Athena is. She explained. I'm sorry I did that to your soul. I gave it to you as a gift. So it's your soul-mo, she said you should be sorry to Athena. And yourself for pushing yourself too far. I know. I sighed. I'm promised to apologize to Athena when she comes back. Until then, she said, I don't think Zal and Eva would mind seeing their daughter. Come on. We walked the road that led back to the cottage. I could see the smoke coming out of the little chimney they had. No one would have ever suspected they were royalties with how comfortable they seemed to be living in this small house. Celine called as we got to the door. Your daughter is here to see you. Bella, my beautiful daughter, Zal's deep voice said as he opened the door. Totally ignoring Celine. Come here. I wasted no time running into his embrace. He squeezed me tight and I felt so safe in his arms. Not that I'm complaining, but why are you here again? He asked after letting me go. I pushed myself too much? I said awkwardly. Eva! She yelled into the house. I've still got my wolf hearing. You don't have to yell, she said from inside. Our daughter is here, Dad said, ignoring her obvious warning. The sound of pans and steel clanging as they drop, and the sound of running footsteps tells us she's running to the door. Stop running, Ava. You might fall. You know how clumsy you are, Dad said worriedly. You could have just said my daughter was here instead yelling my name, she said as she came into view and pulled me into a bone-crushing hug. Why are you here? She asked after letting me go. She really is Dad's soulmate. You shouldn't be here. I can leave now if you want me to, I teased. No, that's not what I meant, she explained in a rush. She can't even leave if she wants to, Celine said. Way to steal my thunder. I said I totally had them believing that. Well, you shouldn't lie. She said she's going to be here until she recovers. How long do you think it'll take? My mom asked Celine. That depends entirely on her. Mom, it's fine. Do you enjoy worrying your mate? Why would you put yourself in danger? I did what I did to protect everyone. Especially Jason and I don't regret doing it, I said. Both my parents looked up to Celine for confirmation, and she nodded. Jason, huh? Mom teased. Jason, huh? Dad grunted. He should be the one putting himself in danger for you. Not the other way around, he said. Do you think I wouldn't save you if you were ever in danger? Mom asked Dad, do you think I'd hesitate for even a moment? It's not the same. I've loved you for longer, and we've been married for quite a while now, Dad said. But he hasn't done anything for our girl. He loved her wholeheartedly, and that is enough for me. Mom said quietly, it should be enough for you too. I see what Celine said now. I was as dramatic as my dad. It is enough, Dad said as he kissed the back of Mom's hands, and I watched my mother blush at his actions. At that moment, I saw myself and Jason instead of my parents, like I was watching our future life. I know Jason would still give me butterflies even when we are old and gray-haired. She will be here for as long as she needs to be. I just can't drop her off, Celine said. Where are you going? I asked. To tend to Athena, she answered. For the next 2 days, I caught up with my parents as we laughed, bonded, and had fun together. On the 3rd day, Celine came back. Athena is fine now, she said, and touched my head, and I immediately felt her presence in my mind. You should start going back now. Jason has been pleading desperately. Jason, I whispered. Say your goodbyes, she said. I did just that. I've had so much fun with them these last 2 days, it's almost hard to let go. But I had to get back to Jason. We shared our tearful goodbyes, and Celine led me back out like she did the last time. Thank you for all your help, Celine, I said sincerely. It was my pleasure, child, she smiled. See you soon. Don't forget to act like you know nothing when you see me at the pack, she winked. There's someone who has been patiently waiting for you. I nodded in agreement. As I fade away, I hear a distant voice saying something beside me. I promise I will no longer run from bath time. I will be good. Jason's POV. After we got back last night, I carried Aries up to our room. I wasn't surprised to see my daughter laying there. I laid Aries gently and kissed her head, and my daughters softly. I could have cuddled with them both, but I didn't want to risk waking Adriana, so I sat on the chair at the far corner of the room and watched them both as they slept peacefully. The night felt the longest it had ever been. I watched the sun shine through as the morning finally came. Both my girls were still sleeping. I went downstairs to make breakfast for Adriana after brushing my teeth and washing my face. It's been a minute since I did that. When I finished, I took the meal up to our room and covered it up. Went to her room and got her toothbrush. I promise to be good if you wake up, I heard my daughter's voice from behind the door. She was awake and definitely speaking to Aries. I pushed open the door. When she saw me, she jumped from the bed into my arms. Daddy, she said excitedly. Hi, Bean, I said, squeezing her gently into me. Have you been good? Yes, Daddy, she said into my neck. That's my girl, I gently placed her down. Come on, time to brush your teeth to my surprise. She didn't protest and simply walked into the bathroom with me, following behind her. Daddy, she called softly. Yes, Bean, I answered. What's wrong with Aries? She asked in concern. She's just sleeping. Bean and I don't think she's ready to wake up yet, I answered. Technically, I wasn't lying. She was sleeping. I just have no idea when she'll wake up, or if she'll wake up. This is day 3, and nothing has happened yet. Is it because of me? Adriana asked. She was already starting to tear up. Is it because I ran away from bath time? No, I don't think that's why, honey, I said. I'm sure she wants to see you badly. She's just too tired to open her eyes. Okay, she said, but I could tell she was still sad. The moment she was done brushing, she walked back to the room and climbed the bed. I watched her take Era's arms in her small ones. Bean, come and eat your breakfast first, I said softly. I want to speak with Aries first, she said. But then your food will get cold, I pointed out. I'll eat it later, she said, and started saying things she'd start doing if Aries woke up. If you wake up, I promise to eat my vegetables, and I promise to take less ice cream, she said. I would have found it funny if she wasn't being serious. Daddy, say something too. I've said everything I wanted to say to her, I replied. I even begged the moon goddess to help me. I whispered. I think she'll wake up when she's ready. Daddy, okay. Fine, I sighed. I promise I'll take you on more dates and someday we'll get married and have more beautiful kids, I said. I promise. I'll make Daddy keep his promise, Adriana said. I chuckled at that. I promise to always put you and Adriana first, I said. The more promises I made, the lighter I felt after saying them. I promise no to run away from bath time. I will be good, Adriana said. I saw movement on Era's other side. I looked again just to be sure and saw her hands move. Adriana's idea was obviously working. I promise to always stand by your side, I said desperately, and held her other arm. I promise to be a good pup, Adriana said. I watched Aries' eyes blink while closed, and I decided not to take my eyes away from her face. Shortly after, her eyes finally blinked open, slowly. Aries? I called softly. Can you hear me? Aries? Do you really promise not to run away from bath time? She asked softly. She was listening. Yes. Adriana nodded her head and smiled so wide, proud of having Aries listening to her. I promise I'll do everything I said, she affirmed. Good, she smiled at my daughter. Come here. She leapt into Era's arms. Gently now, I said softly. Why don't you take your breakfast downstairs so I can talk to Aries alone, please? I asked Adriana softly after they finally let go of each other. Daddy, please, Bean, I asked again. She sighed dramatically and answered, Okay, Daddy. We remained quiet and watched Adriana pick up her breakfast and leave the room. I went up to lock the door behind her. I wanted Aries to myself for the next few hours without distractions. I'm sure Adriana would announce to the entire pack that she was awake now, and they'd waste no time coming to disturb. What happened? She asked. Well, you've been asleep for the last 2 days. I was terrified I was going to lose you, although I said I never doubted she'd wake up. I was terrified of the possibility that you'd never lose me. She grabbed my face and gave me the sweetest kiss she had ever given me. I returned it back with everything I felt at that moment, drawing her impossibly closer to me. I missed you, beautiful, I whispered beside her lips as we finally pulled away. I missed you too, she said back. I almost can't believe that since you were sleeping so much. Hope you had a good dream at least? I asked. I did. It was amazing, but I wanted to be with you for every second of it, she whispered before kissing me again. Her hands explored my body, and I had to stop her lest I wouldn't be able to control myself. You just woke up. You should eat and rest, I said. I've rested enough. She kissed my jawline down to my neck, where the mate bond laid. Now I just want you. She breathed softly upon it before kissing it. She's going to be the death of me. I took her clothes off as hastily as she did mine. When her warm body fused with mine, all I felt at that moment was contentment and home. She was home. Aries, maybe we should slow down? I said slowly, trying not to let my pleasure cloud my judgment. I don't want to slow down, Jason, she whispered, distracting me as she kissed her way down my chest and undid my trousers. I want you.